So this is the shape that I end up with. I'm going to delete this. This is the shape that I end up having for the object. There are some things that I would like to change. First, I went to rig builds and added this word after create point base. I added the word centered. That means that next time I create the curves, the cubes are going to be centered. I think that won't work anymore because, of course, when I build again, the next time I build the gun, I'm gonna have already the shapes that I transform. Actually, no, it didn't. I didn't save them. So I have these shapes that are squares, and as you can see now, are centered to the joint. Before they were not. I'm gonna change the shape. It's easy if they're centered to maybe rescale them and maybe modify these. Yeah, be careful with the shapes. Remember that these cubes are, well, I don't know, they have many points. Let's change the size of these, okay, and there we go. Now we can make this bigger here, maybe leave it here. You can make any shape. For example, for the gun, if you want to have a different shape, you can either draw it in Maya or draw it in any other software and import it from Maya. If you're going to import shapes, you can do it in the EPS, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And you can just draw a line or try to create, for example, in this case, I'm going to draw a line around the gun just to make it the whole gun. There you go. And I'm going to clean it up now. I'm going to go to the control vertex, and maybe I don't need as many vertices as I have right now, right? I have too many, and maybe I can just keep the most important ones and clean up the rest so I can get a clean and nice shape. There we go. As many as you want to keep, as many as you want to delete. There we go. And basically that's what you're doing, right? You're going to reshape this to get the correct position of this vertex to give the shape that you want. You should be careful here because if you open or if you delete that, it's going to get open. It doesn't matter, you can always go and close the shape. I'm gonna go and close the shape in a minute. And here I'm missing, oh, I deleted too many. You can also always add, remember, you can always add to the curves. For example, if you wanted to, well, first let's close it. You just select the curve. Let's go to modeling, curves, close, open, close, and there you go. Now it's closed. Now we can move again these points to reshape this, right? And let's do it like this. And I have here, you can align them. In this case, I'm pressing V, UV to align them. I'm placing them wherever I want them. Maybe there, and anyway, so maybe I want it there. This is going to be my shape. Of course, this shape has nothing to do with the rig at the moment. Notice that the pivot point is very important. Well, in this case, the pivot point is here, but I want to move it into this position. So I'm just gonna get the tool from render motion, rig tools, and I'm gonna press the button that says copy CV position, and I copy the CV position from this one to this one. Unfortunately, right now I don't have options to do it in world space. I'm gonna add that. It should be pretty easy. They're being added in local space, so that's why it appears in a different position. Let me rotate it with discrete rotate. There we go. I'm gonna place it here. I'm gonna move it here, and I have here the control, right? I put it sort of where I want it to have the other one. I'm going to delete this one, I don't need it. And now I can just save the shapes. Once you finish reshaping whatever you have, you can save the shapes. So in this case, I'm going to add this one here, and let's save the shape. So I'm going to select the shapes. Well, I'm going to deselect everything, all objects off except the shapes. And I'm going to press the button here in the gun, save data, save shapes. Once I save the shapes are saved. And if I go to a new scene and I rebuild completely again the rig, I'm going to get the shapes loaded automatically, right? Ah, I loaded the mail, unfortunately. Let me switch that. I need to modify here something. Now I'm thinking to make it more usable. Anyway, so the mail was built. Well, it's important to have the mail. Notice these main controls that we have here in the mail, which could be the main controls of the rig. We don't have those on my other rig, right? Let's add those. Of course, these shapes are just the control world, blah, 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 the world control. Let's try to add this. This is a specific rig, or it's a different rig. Let's try to do it. File, new scene, don't save. Let's go to the builder, build steps, gun. Let's build the gun. And now our shapes are loaded automatically, okay? And everything, the skinning, everything is loaded. So we have here a functional gun. Let's do the other thing. Remember that it was important to have, well, doesn't matter, a geo node, but anyway. The last thing that I'm going to do is add these main shapes in the world. That's a specific rig, and I'm going to add it in PyCharm. This rig, it's called rig world. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to put rig world. If you look in RMPy, you can find the rig world. The rig world is slightly different to the other rigs that we have been seeing. The rig world, it's a rig that doesn't require, it doesn't have a build function. So if you go to the rig world, you will see that in this case, you create the instance, you just create the instance, and that's how you are modifying it. And you have here the build function that's called in the init. So you just need to create it. The instance name is rig world. The class name is rig world. So let's go here and create the rig world. So we just need to call it like rig world dot rig world. Yes, and let's call this rig world equals this. And the last thing that we're going to do, we're going to parent the main Gosh rig, which was the parent of most of them. Let's set the parent to the rig world. I have it there. Now it's the parent. And another important thing that maybe I need to do is I'm not going to get those nice shapes that I have in the mail unless I copy the data from the mail. So let's look for that data. If I go to the assets mail and inside custom rig, no, the data is not saved here. The data is saved on the files folder, no? So this is my short film, assets, props. So I'm gonna go into characters, mail, rigging, Daniel, data, Maya files, no, NURBS curves, and the ones that I'm gonna get are the ones that are called world. Control 1, Control 0, Control 1, Control 2 from the world. These are the ones that I need to get. So I'm gonna copy them, and also the settings. I think there is a settings world. This is the one. I'm gonna copy this, and I'm just gonna go into the data inside rigging, not of the mail, of the assets, props, gun, rigging, yes, Daniel, data, NURBS curves, and here I'm gonna paste these shapes. These shapes are going to get automatically loaded. So let's try to run this, and let's click File, New Scene, don't save, click this. We are going to call the builder again, bot to build the gun, and now the rig world should be created. And there we go, that's the rig gun. We have the visibility here, the visibility control, which comes with the rig world. This one is parented. We're missing some geos that are not following, which are these ones, this one and this one. They don't have a skin cluster, so let's add it to whatever we have, and we don't see the joints anymore. Don't forget also that in the rigs we can unhide them. Just for example, if this is the rig of the gush, the settings control is the one that if you unhide it, you're gonna see everything that's inside the rig. So you just need to unhide this settings control with Control H or Shift H, and you will see all that's included, or all that makes this rig work. And now we're going to select this one. Which ones were the ones that were not skinned? I think it was this one. Nope, nope, nope. Huh. Let's move it again and see which ones were. Ah, these two. This one and this one. Okay, let's locate them here. Okay, now we know which ones are. Let's return this to 0, and we have gun 4 and gun 6, if I'm not mistaken. We select again the joint. We do rigging, skin, bind skin. We bind it. Now we just need to save the data. So selecting these geos, we need to select these geos. We need to save the skinning. And you can always check here if the data was saved. And following skin nodes were saved. In the script editor, you can see that information. I always have it on my side to see what I did. And there we go. Now I can select this, and it's going to move everything. And I don't care. Next time I build, new scene, don't save. Let me run the builder. With the gun, build steps, and let's run it again. And there we go. Now it's finished. Now our rig is finished. It can load from start to end, and it's loading everything. I hope this was clear, how you could create a very fast rig to do this. Maybe one missing thing is locking the geometry. I'm gonna check that out. But anyway, I hope that this was clear. If you have questions, let me know.